What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. Now I want you guys to rewind to the offseason, back when the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Chicago Bulls had made a trade together where Alex Caruso was sent to the Thunder in return for Josh Giddey. And as we all remember, most of us, including maybe myself, I don't remember exactly how I expressed my opinion of the trade. I didn't hate it for the Thunder, but I did understand the fact that people weren't happy about the compensation for Caruso. But Josh Giddey has been balling for the Chicago Bulls as of late. The trade isn't as bad as everyone thought. So let's go ahead and jump in and do a Bulls rebuild, simply sitting around making Josh Giddey the best player on the Chicago Bulls, or at least building around him as the best player. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. YouTube tells me about 57% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you do fall in that 57%, want to change that, we greatly appreciate it as we're on the road to 50,000 subs. Also, hope everyone had a great weekend. We're recording this on Sunday. DK Metcalf was just traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers as I'm recording this. So pretty wild. NFL offseason is going crazy right now. I have a Madden Rebuild channel as well down in the description below for those type of videos. With that all being said, let's talk about the NBA because that's what we're here for. Josh Giddey has been, like I said, terrific for the Chicago Bulls as of late. The stretch he has had has been pretty amazing. So 26, 10, and 12, 19, 13, and 9. As you can see, the man has just been balling. He's been very efficient as well, especially from the three-point line. I think he's actually having a really good year from the three-point line as well this year. So 37%, which was obviously the concern and why the Thunder traded him in the first place, because he didn't fit in well and he was being benched in the playoffs. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool that Josh Giddey is kind of having a breakout right now for Chicago. And we're going to push his shot tendency up as well. I want Josh Giddey to become a stud. I also push his potential up. Sometimes it doesn't work when I do that, so I guess we'll kind of see how it goes. But the goal of this video basically is to highlight Josh Giddey with how he's been playing and try to build a team around him that fits around him basically. And we're going to try to make him the best player. So no one can be better than Josh Giddey on the Bulls basically. So I will see you guys at the end of year number 1, and we'll see how this team finishes out. So speaking of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Shea is your MVP. Sarr is your Rookie of the Year. Jonas Valanciunas, 6th man. Giannis Defensive Player. Amin Thompson, Most Improved. Trae Young, Clutch Player. And Kenny Atkinson, Coach of the Year. And John Murphy is your Executive. And that's it. So All-NBA First Team, Shea, Jokic, Giannis, Trae, and Tatum. All-NBA Second Team and All-NBA Third Team. Offensive First Team and All-Defensive Second Team. So obviously we were fighting for the play-in spot because of how bad the East is, or the East right now as far as standings are concerned. So Josh Giddey got up to 15 points per game. Obviously, we pushed his shot tendency up towards the end. Still shot pretty well. His three-point percentage went up, which is great to see, so I love that. What was his game logs looking like to kind of end the season? That's what I want to see really quickly. So 19, 22, 27, 23, 32. So yeah, that's what we want to see. But let's see if we get past the magic to get in here. So let's see if we can. I know I would assume my thing's out for the season, but he got put in the rotation anyway, even though... whatever. So we might get in here, even though I'd assume we shouldn't be playing right now. So let's, I guess, swap him for like Patrick Williams or something. Didn't Williams hurt too? I don't even remember. But let's go ahead and we get eliminated, which is fine. I want to get in the offseason anyway, because obviously there's a lot more work to be done with this team. The Oklahoma City Thunder, Timberwolves, and the Cavs and the Thunder are your finals, which is very well what it could be. The 2 first seeds in each conference, and the Thunder go on win the championship. Shea is your finals MVP over the Cavaliers in 4. So Chris Paul is the Spur. Lowry's, or sorry, these guys are retiring. I don't need to tell you Chris Paul is a Spur. I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm running on freaking like 4 hours of sleep from last night, maybe even less than that. So my head is kind of fried. So if I seem out of it, I do apologize. But I'm gonna do my best. So let's get to the lottery. So this is gonna be important, obviously, because letting a lottery pick would be very helpful to building around Josh Giddey. So the 11th best odds at number 1, which probably will more than likely not happen, but it would be cool if we got lucky. So let's see. We will end up with pick 11. So at least we didn't fall. Raptors get 1, Spurs 2, and the Wizards 3, Pelicans 4, and the Jazz 5. So Billy Donovan is still head coach. We might have to leave it that way simply because the head coaching options usually aren't that great in the first offseason. So we'll rock with Billy Donovan for 1 last year. And then the 11th overall pick. So Josh Giddey, of course, is going to get a new contract in free agency. It'll be interesting to see how much he gets paid. But you know, Kobe White, we'll see what we do with him. But to end off the season, if we looked at this earlier, but let me just look at this again. So 18 points from Kobe White, 18 from Vucevic, 16 and 7 and 6 from Giddey, 11.5 from Nasumu, and then 9 from Patrick Williams and 8 from Jalen Smith. So I want to just kind of see what we get with the 11th overall, and then we can kind of evaluate from there on what we want to land next. So let's see what the draft looks like. So number 1 is going to be Harper to Toronto. Okay. Wow. San Antonio takes... So Cooper Flagg's going to fall to 3? All right. Interesting. So Ace Bailey to New Orleans, and then VJ come to Utah. Noah to Charlotte. Trey Johnson to the Thunder. Igor to the Nets, and then you got Maluwak to the Blazers. And then Will Riley to the Magic. So who are we going to take is the question. So we have Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen, Conrad, Hugo Gonzalez, Ben Seraph. So honestly, out of all these options, I do think we probably take Derek Queen, right? So 13, 10, and 2 blocks. He's listed at power forward right now, but I'll probably end up moving him back to the 5. He'll probably be our center of the future, or maybe our backup center of the future. But I think he'll be a solid piece nonetheless, whatever role he shines in. I could take Fears as well. But again, I want Josh Giddey to be the main guard, so I'm going to take Derek Queen. So welcome to Chicago, Derek Queen. And then do we have another first in this draft? No, we have a late second. So let my assistant GM take care of that one. So not bad. We'll absolutely take that. 75 overall at this last one. We honestly might give him the opportunity to start right away because we could trade Vucevic. Why not? Cam Jones signed in the second round. Von Carter accepts his player option. Dalen Terry. What did he do on the season? So he averaged 4 points per game. Probably won't worry about him for now. And then Playerberg, our qualifying offers, Josh Giddey, of course, is the free agent to worry about. And then for free agency, we got Josh Giddey, Trey Jones, Dalen Terry, and THT, of course. And then LeBron James also here, but we're not going to do anything like that. I have seen before, obviously, the Bulls get Luka Doncic in free agency. We probably won't do anything like that. But let's take a look at what this truly has left. So Lonzo Ball just got extended, so he's probably our backup point guard for the foreseeable future for the least next 2 years, that is. Kobe White is our 2 right now with Kevin Huerter, which isn't horrible. Ayodosumu is listed as a backup 3, which I don't necessarily love. Patch Williams is also here. He averaged 9 and 35% from 3 last year. Matus Buzelis, Derek Queen, and then, of course, we'll move. Well, we have Jalen Smith, Zach Collins, and... so I guess we'll leave Derek Queen at the power forward for now, but eventually we'll probably... Well, we'll figure it out. So I think the first step is to obviously trade Vucevic away. I just want to get rid of him. He might regress, and I think it'd be in the best interest to trade him. He was part of some rumors at the deadline. Let's go make that happen. So obviously the main rumor for Vucevic at the deadline was something about the Golden State Warriors. So that is what I'm going to go with here again. I would prefer it if it was like Gary Payton's contract and a pick in here, but Moses Moody would be fine as well. 9 points per game, 36% from 3 last year. We get Buddy Hield as well, who wouldn't be a bad fit, at least for now. So I'm going to send that over, and they want Cam Jones second. They'll give us Quentin Post as well. Honestly, I don't really want Quentin Post. We kind of have a center logjam as it is right now. So if you really want a second-round pick, we can maybe make that happen. They really want to give me Quentin Post. I mean, sure, I guess. 3 points. I don't know what I'm going to do with my center logjam, but... Quentin Post, I guess, will be brought in. Cam Jones can go to them, so we'll make this trade happen. So we get rid of Vucevic, and we get a new center in return. Vucevic will be gone, and we kind of have a 3-headed monster at the 5 right now. None of these guys, obviously, are significant pieces going forward. Quentin Post might be now, but we'll see. I eventually want to move Derek Queen to center. That's my goal, but I haven't been able to find a way to do that. So we bring in Moses Moody, and then Patrick Williams is still here. So now we have Ayodosumu, who will probably move to backup point guard right now. But I don't know. We kind of have a little bit of a log jam, but there's still a lot to figure out. So the only thing I think I'll do, so there's not a whole lot of things we figured out this offseason, but I'm going to sign Josh Giddey to a new contract, and we'll probably let the rest of everybody just walk. So I'm not going to bring anybody else back, and I just kind of want to evaluate even more. Deadline might be a busy one for us because there's just so many players that aren't going to get great roles, and I would love to fix that if possible. So player progression, Giddey does progress. So as I told you guys, I did mess with his progression, and it looks like it's working, so that's good. Kobe White up to an 83, 80 Matas Buzelis, 79 Ayodosumu, 79 Moody, 78 Collins, 76 Kevin Huerter. So the good thing is a lot of these guys will be coming off the books as well. So there's still a lot to figure out with this rotation, but in due time, we'll be getting a piece. And I think at the deadline, we should try to get some type of piece that's going to stay here long term, because we really haven't done that. We have so many contracts we could throw together. Let's try to get somebody who makes sense next to Giddey for the foreseeable future if possible. So we're at the trade deadline as we're 23 and 27 on the season right now, and we're the 7th seed in the East, so still under 500, but I want to do a quiet, well, I don't know if I'll call this quiet because there's a couple guys I like the idea of, but Josh Giddey is balling, and I don't really want anybody brought in who's going to take too much scoring away from him, obviously. That's kind of my goal here. I like Kobe White as a long-term starting shooting guard next to him because Kobe White's balling this year with 40% from 3, 19 points per game, 6 assists. I think he's a good compliment next to Josh Giddey. I do believe usually he is fine with signing an extension, and that is the case. So we're going to go ahead and give Kobe White that extension. So if we can get him for like 20 million, would be pretty nice. He declines it for now, though. So we'll keep... I mean, I know eventually he could change his mind, but we'll just bring it maybe somewhere closer. He still declines that. Okay. We'll keep this up. I'm going to give him a 4-year deal. Let's say it's 21.25 then. And he accepts. So just like that, Kobe White has a pretty good contract now going forward. Not going to be making too much money, and he'll fit right next to Giddey extremely well, which is nice. Now, we got to think about what is the next guy we want to go after. Well, I would love Montez Buzelis to develop into something. I just don't know if I've ever really seen him develop anything that great in 2K. But if he does, that'd be great. It's a luxury. I would love to keep him on the team for as long as possible. But I do have a couple guys in mind at the deadline that are relatively interesting. So first and foremost, the Clippers are selling, and they have Zubac, which I don't hate the idea of. But he is a little bit older than the timeline I am seeking. Now this one is where it becomes interesting because Memphis has like Jalen Wells. Of course, they have Jaren Jackson. I don't think the Grizzlies should be this bad in the 2K sim, but for whatever reason, they always are. And then we got Atlanta as well with like Jalen Johnson, hypothetical, if you want to do that. But Jaren Jackson, an expiring contract, actually feels like a realistic possibility, and he fits pretty well next to Josh Giddey, and he kind of fits the timeline as well. So with that being said, I think we're going to try to trade for Jaren Jackson at the deadline here and buy early on him. We'll have his bird rights, so we don't have to worry about trying to win him in free agency. With 21 points, 5 rebounds, 37% from 3. I love the idea of Jaren Jackson being paired with Giddey going forward. That is what we're going to try to do here. So we're going to offer Zach Collins' contract because we're not in the business of keeping that after this season. Let's see what else we got. So we can offer Derek Queen, but I would prefer if Derek Queen was a part of what we're doing going forward. But we'll see if we can't get away. I don't know if we'll be able to get away with that. So Carter, Quinn Post. I mean, we probably have to throw like, maybe we throw Ayodasumu in here. That might be a piece that the Grizzlies would be interested. We'll take Cam Spencer off of them. And let's say we give them this Blazers pick that's live protected forever. It's an expiring Jaren Jackson, so a live protected Blazers pick. Ayodasumu, which isn't a bad throw in. I mean, it's a pretty good piece. And then maybe we trade them like 1 first. So maybe not. Maybe we give them our, well, let's do a lottery protected 2026. I think that makes a little bit more sense because obviously if we don't make the playoffs, we'll still have our pick. But if we make the playoffs, then the Bulls get it. Or sorry, the Grizzlies get it. So yeah, to me, that seems like a fair trade. And the Grizzlies say no. Okay, what if I throw a second in there? Still not going to make it happen. I can't get to 2 first. I think it'll be a little rich for my blood. I could throw Jalen Smith in there. I don't know if that's going to make a difference. It probably would, actually, because they have a couple of... So they give me Zion... Just kidding. So Jalen Smith's making too much money for them. What about Javon Carter as just salary filler? Does that make a difference? No. What about that second in here again? And it does not. So that doesn't push it over the top either. So Jalen Smith was making $9 million. So that's too much. I don't want to throw Queen in here. Javon Carter. Do I have to throw Derek Queen in here? I'd hate to do it. But if we get Jaren Jackson, we might have to. So this is a lot to give up. But Jaren Jackson is a former Defensive Player of the Year. We're going to do this, and they're going to agree. So just like that, Jaren Jackson is now a Chicago Bull. We could have maybe thrown Buzelis in it as well, but I would have preferred to have kept him. So a little bit more than I would have loved to have given up, like I said. But what we can do is we move Buzelis to the 3. He actually goes up to an 82. We'll have plenty of size and rotation, so we can move Buzelis in there over Patrick Williams. And we'll rock with that for the rest of the season. What is Jaren Jackson's shots in C, by the way? So it's a 94. We're going to push this down just a tad bit. Nothing crazy. But we'll rock with that. So I will see you guys at the end of year 2. I love the addition of Jaren Jackson. I think he fits extremely well. It's just a matter of bringing in a long-term 5 because we just traded our potential option with Derek Queen. But I think it was all worth it. And the team is starting to win some games. We're over 500 again. So we'll see if this team surprises us this year. Maybe we go win a freaking championship. Who knows? MVP goes to Shea once again. And here are the rest of your awards as Josh Giddey wins Most Improved Player. Was there ever a doubt based off how much his stats jumped up? Obviously, it helps with some of the things we did in 2K. But still fun to see as he makes All-NBA second team. Will he ever be this good for Chicago? I don't know. It's too early to tell. He's still only 22 years old, by the way, so still relatively young. But we are the 6th in the East. We should have made the playoffs, not a play-in, so that's good. So in his season stats, he had 27 from Josh Giddey, 20 from Jaren Jackson, and 18 from Kobe White. So as you guys can see, we have pretty much our whole starting five figured out other than the center, because Buzelis is our starting 3 going forward probably. Kobe White's our starting 2, Jaren Jackson starting 4, and Josh Giddey is our starting point guard. We do have to resign Jaren Jackson, but Lonzo Ball could be our backup point guard next year. And how did he do off the bench? But yeah, not bad, but we can trade Lonzo if needed, if we need to. We still have Patrick Williams' contract that we can use as well. So a lot. Oh, wow. He actually had a pretty good season. 41% from 3, which you can be upset with. So maybe he finds a way to stay on the team. We'll see, though. So we get to play the Pacers in round 1. I don't know if we'll win a championship this year. We have Jalen Smith as our starting center. So more than likely that won't be the case. But we shall see how it goes. So let's still make around against Indiana. And we will be up. Wow. Okay. So we swept them. And now we get to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're running a 10-man rotation. No, we're 9-man rotation already. So that leaves like what? Javon Carter, Buddy Hield, Kevin Huerter all out of the rotation, which sucks. But based off what I just saw, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. As Buzelis, ooh, man, he's not shooting well from 3 in the playoffs. I mean, he shot 37% from 3 in the regular season, which we'll take. But in the playoffs, not so great so far. But all right, it's fine. We swept the Pacers, and now we get to play Cleveland. So will we sweep the Cavs or beat them? Rather, we probably shouldn't look to sweep them. That's probably going to be really tough to do. But we're in a game 7 with them, so I don't know, man. It's possible we get to the conference finals already after just adding Jaren Jackson to the deadline. We're probably not quite ready yet, but we're close at least. And I don't think we're going to beat them. So that is a great, that's a great step, though. Again, in the right direction. Made it to the second round, almost touched the conference finals, but Dallas goes on with all with Kyrie Irving just balling it out. So let's go to the lottery, and this probably won't matter for us because our pick, ended up, we made the playoffs. So obviously we do not get our pick back at all. So that pick ended up being what? Oh, so the 17th pick. Knicks via Washington, Thunder via Utah. The Blazers just still have 8, and that's about it. So per usual, got to fix the Knicks and the Thunder. But other than that, we got to figure out who will be our starting center next year because it ain't going to be Jalen Smith. That's for sure. And then do we keep Billy Donovan or do we go for a new head coach? It's a good question because we were pretty good with Billy Donovan. I think Billy Donovan's earned another job. Sure, why not? We just almost made it to the NBA final, or sorry, the conference finals. So let's keep Billy Donovan and rock with them. I'm going to go fix some draft picks, and then I'll go tell you what we're going to do next. So unfortunately, we did not have a single pick in that draft, so you don't see me coming out with a rookie, but we will accept, obviously, Buzelis's and Phillips's options, and then qualifying offers. Quentin Post is a free agent. Do we keep him? I think we do. He came from the Vucevic trade. Jalen Smith, Quentin Post are about to be our only centers under contract right now, but obviously there's a lot to figure out with that. But it's a qualifying offer, so I guess we don't have to keep him, but we'll at least extend the qualifying offer, obviously. Jaren Jackson's already looking for a big payday, $51 million per year expected. But we brought him in for a reason, and it almost worked out, in year 1. So yes, Jaren Jackson will be re-signed to a new deal, so we'll definitely make that happen. And I want to see what moratorium is looking like after that. So do we have money? We do have a little bit, but I know it's not going to be for any great center. So Hardenstein is sitting here, and we don't have enough money for that. But it would be not bad to bring in Hardenstein. We probably have money for Robert Williams or something like that, but that's not really who I want to start at the 5 next year. So Josh Giddey, Lonzo Ball, Kobe White, Buddy Hield can probably get traded as well. Moses Moody and Patrick Williams, honestly, if they don't get moved, we could probably slide one of them over to the 2. Probably Moses Moody, obviously. And then you have Phillips, and then you have Jalen Smith, who is still the starting center right now, but that needs to change pretty quickly. But I don't mind him as a backup, 9-7 as a backup, although he started last year. So yeah, obviously, but we do have money to sign a good backup too if we wanted to. So let's go explore the trade market for a center. These are the centers left in free agency. Well, we could probably go ahead and sign a back or a free agent center. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Daron Sharp a contract because he can probably be good enough to start if we don't find anything else. So we'll sign Daron Sharp, and that'll be a good, nice little guy to bring in. Why did I say nice little guy? That sounded weird. I'm sorry. But nice little addition for that. What is what I wanted to kind of say. But yeah, Sharp with 9 and 8 and a block last year. But I still want a legitimate starting center. So let's go see if we can't find that. My trade target for our starting center next year is going to be Daniel Gafford. Someone I don't really trade for very often because obviously the Mavericks are usually competitive, but are competing for championship. They have Luka Doncic and whatever, but now who the hell knows what's going to happen with the Mavericks in the future. So you can't tell me that Gafford maybe couldn't be available. Also played in Chicago once upon a time, so we can bring him back, and he's a much better player now. Let's see if we can't make this happen somehow. So he's making $19 million. So let's go ahead and offer them Buddy Hield's contract and Jalen Smith's contract. So Buddy Hield, Jalen Smith. And I guess we're going to do kind of what the Bulls did in, earlier when they just threw a bunch of picks around. And that's what we're going to be kind of doing the same thing. So we'll do an unprotected 2027 picks. We assume we'll make the playoffs. Let's see what they say to this. And they agree. So just like that, we bring in Mr. Gafford. So now this is the team around Josh Giddey. Will it lead to a championship? I don't know, but I like it. I think we have a nice co-star. We have a nice second option. Jaren Jackson is either your second or your third option too. So yeah, I think this is a really good team. Will it lead to a championship? Obviously remains to be seen, but I'm excited to find out. So Isaac, we're going to give a minimum to as well. And that will be it. I'm not going to bring Quentin Post back. We brought Sharp in, so I don't think Post would really have a role. So let's go to player progression. And let's go see what it's looking like. So we have Josh Giddey up to an 88 now. So he's probably hit his peak. But Buzelis up to an 85, which is great. How much has Derek Queen developed? Because obviously we traded him to Memphis. What would he have been for us at this point? So that is my curiosity. He is up to a 78 overall. So nothing too crazy yet. But he was obviously going to be my center. But I'm actually fine with the fact that we traded him for Jaren Jackson. We'll see how it goes. Let's go look at the rotation for year 3. We almost got to the conference finals last year. So I'm hoping this year things will work out exactly how they're supposed to. So our 4-star balanced system, and here is what the starting 5 is looking like. They want to start Day'Ron Sharpe, which is interesting. I don't hate it. I mean, they're both fine as starting centers. They're both going to get similar minutes, so whatever works, I guess. But Moses Moody, Lonzo Patrick Williams, and then obviously that leaves Isaac out of rotation. Also, I forgot to move Moses Moody to shooting guard. So he does go down 1 or 2 overall, but it's fine. We'll leave it that way. So Giddey, Kobe White, Buzelis, Sharp, Gafford, Lonzo, Patrick Williams, and Moses Moody as your rotation. So I'm excited. I'm optimistic about what this season could be, just based off the fact of how we did last year. But it'll be interesting to see how we finish out. So I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. I'm expecting to be hopefully a top 5 seed in the East. That'd be great. We were the 6th seed last year, so taking another step up in the standings, which things look good right now. I'll see you guys at the end of year, what is this, year 3 at this point, so I'll see you then. So Wemby wins MVP. Boozer is your rookie of the year. Peterson 6th man in a Lakers jersey, which the Lakers have been good. Fortunately, LeBron James looks like he's going to miss 2 weeks, which, damn, that sucks for what's going on with them right now. Kid Coach of the Year, Cade Cunningham, clutch player, and Hobson is your executive. So here's your All-NBA first team and All-NBA second team. We got Josh Giddey, All-NBA second team. So, yeah, he's been terrific. 39% from 3. Obviously, this would be a killing if Josh Giddey actually turns into this. Will he? Probably not. But it's still fun to make videos like this, as you guys know. So I said I wanted a top 5 seed, and we got the first seed. It's not too surprising either, because the Bulls, for whatever reason, like, the Bulls and the Nets usually are pretty good in the 2K sim, like, regardless of what their rosters look like. So it's just working out with Josh Giddey even better, and obviously me controlling the team and things going well. So 19 from Jaren Jackson, 25, 8, and 7 from Josh Giddey, 16 from Kobe White, 14 from Matas Buzelis, 10 from Day'Ron Sharpe with 9 rebounds and 2, I thought that was 2 blocks, but 2 assists and a block, and then Gafford, similar stats. So yeah, we're getting 2 centers, which is what we kind of wanted. It's kind of like Lively and Gafford in a way. Obviously not exactly the same, but Moses Moody and Lonzo Ball 8 and 5 off the bench. So not too shabby, but let's go ahead and see if we can't get to the conference finals this time. So the Pistons signed Kevin Durant, which I could never imagine Durant signing with Detroit, but he did in 2K. So we shall see if we're able to beat the Pistons, and we will beat them in 5. So that was a lot easier than I anticipated, because Durant and Cade Cunningham is still scary, but get to play Atlanta with no Trae Young. Instead, they have Okongwu, Jalen Johnson, Ricochet, Dyson Daniels, and Trey Mann. Honestly, guys, like I said, or I think in my previous Hawks video, so I didn't say this, I'm saying it now, the Hawks are going to have a very fun defensive lineup with whatever guard they have if Trae Young doesn't stay there long term, because they have so much size, man. Dyson Daniels, Ricochet, Jalen Johnson, obviously Okongwu if he becomes the starting center, or maybe a different center. They brought Hardenstein in this situation, so but we'll see how they do. Enough glazing of the Hawks, and we will beat them in 5. So now we can play Toronto, which is another team that has a lot of success in 2K Sim. Of course, they drafted Dylan Harper. They have Brandon Ingram and RJ Barrett, Grady Dick. So good team. And then we got Dallas, Minnesota on the other side. So here goes nothing. We'll go game by game, because obviously got to give Toronto the respect. But we do win by 2 in game 1 as Giddey drops 31-20 from Kobe White. Game 2, 2-0. So far, so good. 2-1. Are they going to even the series? No, 3-1. We're going to beat everybody in 5. Wow, just like that, we make it to the NBA Finals. Josh Giddey is doing wonders right now, and the Timberwolves are in battle with the Dallas Mavericks. So who would I rather play is the question. So let's look at this Mavericks team. I don't know. Good question. Honestly, I don't care. Actually, I think I'd rather play the Mavericks because of Anthony Edwards. We all know what Anthony Edwards is capable of in a 2K sim. So 3-2 for Dallas. Please take care of them. Oh, it's going to a game 7. I'm going to simcast a game 7 of 2 AI teams. Let's see. But it looks like Minnesota's got... Oh, wait a minute. Dallas is back in it. I would love Dallas to win this because I don't want to deal with Anthony Edwards, and we don't have to deal with Anthony Edwards. But be careful what you wish for. It is still Dallas. They're still good in the 2K sim as well. So far, we've beaten every team in 5. Does that continue in the NBA Finals? We shall find out. Game 1 goes to Dallas. Game 2, we even it up. Game 3 goes to them. Game 4, do we even the series? Went through game? No, we're down 3-1. So they might sweep us, or sorry, they might gentlemen sweep us instead of us gentlemen sweeping everybody else. But I will say we're down 3-1. Not impossible for us to maybe come back from this. We got to win 1 game at a time. We're on their ankles here, but Dallas, maybe I should have wanted to play Minnesota. We lose in 5 in the championship in the finals. Well, obviously, you guys know what that leads to now. I think we run it back. Like, we just made it to the finals. So, yes, that was another step in the right direction. As heartbreaking as it is to lose in the finals when you get there, obviously. But Sacramento, number 1. Rockets via Brooklyn. Boston is picking 3, which is weird to think about at this point. But, yeah, I mean, not going to change much of anything, I think. This team is in really good shape. It seems to be clicking extremely well, so why would I change much of anything about it? So, for free agency, we have Lonzo, which I'm going to keep him. I think let's keep him around. Let's try to get him a championship if possible. And pretty much everybody's under contract, too, which is also great. Buzelis was an option, right? No qualifying offer. Yeah, so everyone's under contract. The only other thing we could bring in is a power forward. We just had Jonathan Isaac, so I'll just bring him back again, I guess, on a minimum. So, all right, let's go see if Giddey goes up more, or does Buzelis go up even more, or does anybody go up even more? I'm curious. So, play progression, we have Kobe White down. Okay, Moses Moody's down, Isaac's down, but Josh Giddey's up to a 90. So, that's cool. So, Giddey has hit his full stride. And once again, I want to check on Derek Queen again. And he is up to, whoops, he is up to an 82. So, he's getting up there where we would have wanted him had we still have him. Had we still had him on the roster. Obviously, we do not. So, let's load the 2028 draft class, and let's see if this year isn't our year to bring home gold, because we were so close last year. So another MVP award racked up for Wembanyama, and here are the rest of your awards. So we do get clutch player for Anthony Edwards, and Billy Donovan wins coach of the year. So clearly we're trying to win a championship. Josh Giddey only be a second team, but we're in the mold of bringing home a title to Chi-Town. We got the first team in the East again, made it to the finals last year, so let's see if we can't get out of the East again, and then this time, hopefully take advantage of the opportunity we're presented with. We get to play the Nets, who have Scoot Henderson and Carter Bryant and Igor. They're very interesting, for sure. Cam Thomas, Scoot is in the backcourt, which is pretty wild. But let's see how it goes. So we get to somebody come around against Brooklyn, which is a team that often does fairly well in the sim, but we will sweep them. And now we get to play Toronto, which... we beat them pretty easy last year, too, so I'm hoping for that same result, and we will beat them in 5. And now we play the Pacers, who we beat, I think, in the very first year, if I remember correctly. It's a 1-0 start. They even it up. Game 3 goes to us. Game 4 goes to us, and just like that, we beat the East really easily, and now we get to play New Orleans or San Antonio, so no Dallas or Minnesota this time. So let's see what the Pelicans got for us, and it is going to be Ace Bailey representing the Pelicans, who still have Zion Williamson, Ace Bailey Murray, and then Missy. Hardenstein is now there, so Hardenstein has just been playing us lately. He was on Atlanta last year, but all right. Let's lock in. 2 finals appearances in a row. Does this one net a championship? 1-0 start. That's how it started last year, and then that's exactly how it started last year, too. But we go up 2-1, 3-1. Nope, even series. Okay. Well, let's get to a simcast for Game 5 and see if we can't take an advantage. So Sharp's going to start now for Game 5. I don't care how it's done. I just want a win. I don't care who's starting, who's playing, what minutes are being distributed, but just get a win. All I care about. And we will barely lose in Game 5. So we have to win Game 6 to force a Game 7 if we want a chance to stay afloat here. And it looks like we might force a Game 7 if we hang on, and we will. So we could have won game 5 and maybe have been walking away with the championship, but instead it is game 7. It is going to be back in Chicago. So game 7, to end the video off with a championship. Can we do it? It's going to be closer than we would have wanted to be, but that might be a great way to end this video. Actually, we're starting to run away with it, and it's not going to matter. So just like that, we do bring a championship to Chicago, and it's going to result in a ring. So that is a great way, of course, per usual, to end the video off, and a great way to start the week. So let's inbound this to Josh Giddey, and let's see if we can't get a basket with Josh Giddey really quickly, since we obviously made this guy a stud in today's video. So Jaren Jackson going to give me a screen. And let's see. Can I just lay this ball up? And yes, I can. 128 to 147. Josh Giddey gets to go in 29 points on the night in this game 7. So great. And the environment. I love the all-white shirts in the crowd right now. It's so damn cool to match what we're wearing at home. They're going to go to a wide open Trey Murphy. And of course, when you leave him open, he's going to knock it down every time. So, but thankfully, there's not enough time for them to make a comeback, because if there was, then we'd probably be in trouble. We have a 3-guard lineup on the floor right now with Lonzo Ball in, but I mean, we have quite a bit of size still, so it's not that big of a deal. But I'm going to get Daron Sharp involved with a pass from Josh Giddey. So just like that, we're cooking, and we're going to see if we can't get a stop here on the defensive end to ice this one away. So Ace Bailey is going to take it to the basket. He's going to draw the foul, and they're going to probably sub in all of their nope. I want actually just starters in. I want to see the starters celebrate, obviously, a championship. So I hate it when obviously whoever's on the floor is the one that like hoists the trophy up first. All right, so 28 seconds left. I'll leave the starters in to celebrate, and that took out Lonzo Ball, of course, but all good. So Sharp stepped in, and he was a great addition in free agency. Again, we'll have another nice open. Wow, Josh Giddey probably just put the dagger in it, even though it was already all but over. So Josh Giddey goes from OKC to Chicago, and he brings home a title to the Bulls, leading the way. So will that happen in real life? Obviously, probably not. But this was a fun video regardless. Just give the ball to Josh Giddey and end it off with him having the ball in his hands. We'll be celebrating the title in a Game 7 win after losing the finals last year. So after being down 3-2, it would have been easy to lose and not have gotten a championship. But thankfully, we took care of business, and the Bulls are champions. So great way to start the week. Very excited about it. But I'm going to end it off there. Brogdon also got a ring, it looks like, too. He was on our team. Sharp is going to be hoisting the trophy. So even though, okay, I guess, yeah, I don't even see Josh Giddey in the frame yet, but it probably will be now. So thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was an awesome video, and it was a fun one. Thank y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.